Alright, I'm going to be doing a little bit of off-the-wall rant about just obesity and the problem with one of the real pandemics that America is facing. So, as we know, America is one of the most obese countries in the world, you know, by rate. And the fat acceptance movement, I believe, does has some merit, but but in the end is a byproduct of of the harmful culture that we have sort of put up with, you know, and allowing unhealthy foods to just completely take over the market for convenience, for the only food that's convenient and cheap and available for most people under the that work for like under 30,000 a year is slowly killing them, and it's very sad. So there are groups of people who have, like, you know, the thyroid stuff and the issues uh, and maybe situations have put them to where they don't really have access to to cooking, and they just aren't in the position where losing weight is just feasible for them. But this is a systemic issue that has been going on for decades. You know, in America, you know, with the corporations, you know, have lobbied the government to allow them to get away with putting all kinds of garbage in their food. Uh, so let's just go over it real quick. So to get an idea of what obese is, we have this. We have a chart right here, body mass index. And I've struggled with weight all my life. You see, I used to. I'm about 210 right now. I should lose a lot of weight for my duty, but hopefully I'll get down to 160 eventually. That's my goal. Severely underweight. That is a problem too. And anorexia is a problem. Let's see. About average height is about, let's say, 5'6" for a female and about 5'10" for a male. You're underweight. You're about 130 pounds. You know, 5'10" average height. Optimal is between 130 and 170 pounds. That's optimal height for someone my height. And I am freaking. So yeah, I'm yeah, just borderline overweight, between overweight and obese. You know, that's what I've been dealing with. And have been going back and forth and losing and regaining, but that's another story. This is your chart right here. This is what you fat acceptance and all that other junk aside. This is what you want to look at to know that you're at an optimal shape, and which is backed by a lot of data. Let's see, it's can't really go through it there, but that's the general consensus. Is what percentage? I'm not sure. Does it show BMI? Yeah, yeah. Your BMI is between 18 and 25. That means a percentage of your total body weight is in fat. 18 and 25% of your body weight is in fat. That's ideal. Okay, now that we got the preliminaries out of the way, let's go over the main issues with obesity. All causes of consequences of obesity. All causes of death. All right, so I'm not sure what that means, but high blood pressure. High blood pressure sucks. You know, you feel really hot. You know, it makes it hard to breathe. You know, just like COVID. You know, that's one of the main issues that people worry about catching COVID, along many other things. If you're you know how when you're out of shape and you always feel like you're out of breath when you run up and down the steps just one little time, when you run to the refrigerator to get something and you're already out of breath. You can't you go to the mailbox and you come back, and you know what I mean, the meme, you know. So that is a strong indicator that you shouldn't be accepting the condition that you're in right now. That you should, you know, if not try to lose weight, at least try to become more active so that you can counter, you know, that counter that lack of energy, that lack of strength. If you can't lose weight, you have to develop the energy and strength to maintain a functional life, so that you're not panting going back and forth from the mailbox. So type 2 diabetes. Diabetes suck. And just to give for the context to that, um, what countries have highest percent diabetes. Most diabetic countries. Diabetic prevalence, I guarantee. So, career body. Yeah. Now, a lot of this may not just have to do with weight, but I guarantee. Let's see. Okay, United States. So that's number 43. It's number 43 on the list of 195, and we're a pretty developed country. We have countries like let's see. What countries are beating us? What countries are beating us in terms of? So India is doing better. India is doing slightly better, at preventing diabetes than America is. Samoa is doing better at preventing diabetes. Colombia, Uzbekistan. These countries in the Middle East that that are so underdeveloped have lower rates of diabetes because they know how to take care of themselves. I guarantee if you look at this list, and then you look at let's see, then you look at compare that to the list of obesity in general, probably overlap quite a bit. Nauru, Cook Islands, Palau, Marshall Islands, Tuvalu, yeah, career body, Tuvalu, yep, there it is, Tuvalu. So there it is. These those lists like overlap, like not perfectly, but it makes sense though. It makes total sense. Okay, I'm gonna move on from that. Gallbladder disease, that sucks. More items. Let's check out more items. Low quality of life. If that isn't fucking talk about everyone being online and terminally online, as they say, and depressed. That's okay. That's a contributor to obesity as well. Is the fact that you're sitting there watching this video instead of out exercising. I'm sorry about that. Let's see what the WHO has to say. Has nearly tripled since 1975. Worldwide obesity has tripled. I'm not, you can take the word for it or not. I really don't care. But this is coming from the World Health Organization, and it seems like a pretty big deal. In 2016, more than 1.9 billion adults 18 years and older were overweight. Of those, over 650 million were obese. So yeah, and your bar for I accept, that I don't believe in fat acceptance, but I can accept that I'm somewhat obese and I have a problem and I need to lose the weight. Like that's what I think. That's what fat acceptance should be. It should be accepting the fact that you have a problem and you need to fix that problem. That's what it should be. Acknowledging who you are, like biologically. Most of the world's population live in countries where overweight and obesity kills more people than underweight. Yeah, it's the developed world, and we've seen like all of these these videos like "We Are the World, We Are the Children," stuff like all the celebrities get together and they sing for the for the starving kids. But there's there's kids that are being overfed too. Let's take a look at this kid. There was this kid who was there was this kid who was ordered to be removed from a hotel by the Saudi king. Saudi king intervenes to help 1,345-pound man. King Abdullah of Saudi Arabia has intervened to help a man who has become one of the heaviest people in the world. This they say he's a man. He's a kid though. He's obviously a kid. Over 1,250 pounds. He made a television appeal for help, and he got the attention of the freaking king, of one of the freaking king in Saudi Arabia, who helped him lose that weight. What a Chad! What an absolute Chad! It's it's pretty sick, you know, that we let it get to that condition. And as far as I'm concerned, obese children is child abuse. Like, spare me the fucking the thyroid thing. You're feeding your kid, you know, as a guardian, you have an obligation to care for your kids, you know, in the right way. If and a school should be upheld to those standards as well. If kids are coming home from school fat, then there's a problem there. But if they're spent all their time, you know, at home, and yeah, they're like 10% over the BMI obesity thing, then I think that should be a mandatory fat camp. Like, of course, a fat camp should be optional for adults, but like fat. Let's see. And we're talking about things that we should make mandatory. You know, that's so in the military. You are ordered to work out. You know, and that's for adults. You know, sign up. But children, on the other hand, you know, are supposed to be taken care of. You know, they're someone's responsibility. And this is the kind of thing that it's with I think a government enforced fat camp. I think that, you know, if someone is not able to properly manage their kid's weight, that's something that could be looked at possibly. Overweight and obese, defined as abnormal excessive fat. Yeah. If you're talking about fat acceptance, the World Health Organization calls it abnormal. So you're gonna have to jump through some hoops, you know, to redefine, you know, what's clearly written in stone right here. What causes obesity? Let's talk about that. So for one, you know, too much internet, possibly staying inside too much. You have a lack of energy, therefore, because you have a lack of, if you're eating junk food, it gives you a lack of energy, which accelerates, you know, you not wanting to get up and burn that fat even more in a circular destructive cycle. That's part of it as well. Depression, probably depression, and your mental. You keep a good mental health, then that will translate into getting up and having a good physical health as well. Fundamental cause of obesity is energy imbalance, as I said, between calories consumed and calories expended. That is the scientific reason. So yeah, your body naturally burns X amount of calories a day without doing anything. Like, you burn more calories in your sleep than you do sitting down. Like, because your mind is working more, you know, when you're dreaming than when you're just sitting down, well, like this, you know, like with your mind in a daze. That's it's just a fact. An increased intake of energy-dense foods that are high in fat and sugars. That's what you gotta look out for. You gotta look out for sugars. You gotta look out for those words on the those secret terms on the packaging, like sucrose, glucose, dextrose, mactrose, yeah, you got to look out for that. Anything ending in crose, etc. Anything with like a list of ingredients as long as a real estate contract, just probably stay away from it. An increase in physical inactivity due to the, yeah, as I just said, decrease in physical activity. What are common health consequences? Disease, cardiovascular, muscular diseases, and some cancers. America has a cancer problem, and you know, we're not curing cancer like anytime soon. So if you think diabetes is bad, that's just it's not worth the fat acceptance. Cancer is not worth your fat acceptance in your ultra woke takes. Obesity prevalent, and here's what the CDC says. Obesity prevalence was 42.4% in 2017 to 2018. That's almost half the fucking country. That's almost half the fucking country. And a non-Hispanic black... Okay, so we're going into race. Non-Hispanic black adults, 49%. Hispanic, 44%. White adults, 42%. So, say... Okay, I really don't want to go there, but... I mean... Historically poor neighborhoods... I mean, poor people go to fast food because it's cheap and convenient. So, that, I'm not saying it, but That could tie into, and that's another good reason. Like, if Black Lives Matter, then fat acceptance should be the last fucking thing on your mind. Food regulation should be on one of the top priorities. Like, if you care about their lives, you want to take all of all of these garbage ingredients out of McDonald's. You want to take the GMO. You want to take whatever the hell this is, ractopamine, flame retardant. You want to take the processing out of McDonald's foods, because that's where they're getting their food, and it's their only option. You know how they say it's not freedom in capitalism if your only two options are work or die. Well, it's not freedom in your weight control if your only options are eat garbage food and become obese, or don't eat and die. It's a pretty sick exploitative system, and they pack. So yeah, they pack the food with. And I'm just saying McDonald's as an example, you know, but KFC, fried chicken, you know, the 9 yards. Okay. All right, let's talk about these more in depth. I'm not really a fan for banning things, because, you know, I am a libertarian, and I do believe in one's individual right to their own body. So long as they're not infringing on the rights of others, they should be able to consume whatever they like. But there's not a whole lot of consent in this, because the shit isn't everything that is within reach and is feasible for them to buy. If they were to, like, let's say that they specifically bought a pack of MSG, monosodium glutamate, or they specifically bought one of these shitty ingredients that they put in the meat, that they pump into the meat, then there would be some level of consent involved. But instead, the stuff is, you know, usually without their knowledge, or just like listed in the fine print in the packaging. You know, it's just there, and it's just everywhere, and there's not much and there's no control these people have over it, except for their wallet. You know, but it's more than just individual responsibility. You know, it's not feasible to expect millions of poor people to just suddenly decide to start going to the produce section. It's not feasible. So there has to be some serious regulation to talk about getting rid of these farm-raised salmon, genetically engineered papaya. Okay, who eats genetically engineered papaya? We're probably not that often, but tainted meat. This is probably one of the biggest problems in the U.S. So it's banned in 160 countries, and even Russia and China are more based than America when it comes to tainted meat. Literally tainted meat. 45% of pigs, 30% of cattle, unknown percentage of turkeys, so possibly higher. Ractopamine is linked to reductions in reproductive function. Yeah, classic. Increase in mastitis in dairy herds, and increased death and disability. It is also known to affect the human cardiovascular system, causing hyperactivity, chromosomal abnormalities, and behavioral changes. Talk about another reason why Americans are depressed. That is right there. Behavioral changes. It's clear as day. And this shit is everywhere. 45%. So like 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 2, you know, pork or hamburger, pork, bologna or whatever, or hamburgers that you've had has been tainted with ractopamine, the stuff that is scientifically, you know, proven to cause behavioral changes. Holistic Center at Bristol Square. So I'm not sure how accurate the source is, but I mean, I'll believe it. You don't have to believe it if you don't want to. But yeah, junk, arsenic-laced chicken, fucking arsenic, potassium bromate, another linked to kidney and nervous system damage, thyroid problems. There's the source of your fucking thyroid problems right there. You think that you inherently have a thyroid problem, but you're consuming your thyroid problem, thus preventing you from, you've done the lack of research to know where you're getting your thyroid problem for, and, your lack of knowledge has perpetuated it, So, that, you know what to stay away from if you want to deal with that thyroid problem. Olestra. I'm not saying that it's super easy to get rid of once you have it, just because you stop eating these types of foods. But I mean, there's a start anyway. BHA and BHT. Honestly, most ingredients that are just like a bunch of letters, they're just a bunch of random letters that spell out something ending in cyanisol. Hydroxytolin. Okay, you could say hydroxic acid, but yeah. RBGH and BST, hormone producing calcium. Yeah, that's the growth hormone. Growth hormone, prostate and breast cancer. There you have it. All kinds of cancer. 2016 global obesity levels. Yeah, at the very top. Oh, speak of the devil, Saudi Arabia. Speak of the devil, Saudi Arabia is one of the most obese countries as well. As we were talking about, one of the most obese kids in the world was in Saudi Arabia, who's actually get the attention of the king. So it's right up there with the U.S. Because Saudi Arabia is pretty rich, so they have that oil money. It's a wonder, as an authoritarian country they just allow they don't regulate their food market at all. It's kind of surprising, but who knows? I can't say that they have the best values. No. Percent of population that is obese, and let's take a look at that. Where is the U.S.? United States of America, number 12. Number 12, 36%. Out of fucking 191 countries, and Vietnam is the best. Amazing. In Vietnam, not my ideal economic system, but at least they have control over their food production. No. Yeah. Here's something we need to think about. It's also part of the culture, inside it. Biggest differences between Japanese and American diets. And I chose Japan. The article about Japan because everyone loves Japanese food. I could bring up an article about Vietnamese food as well, and I'm sure, and it would probably be saying a lot of the same stuff. Their food portions are smaller. At least, it would take a while for Americans to to grow out of that habit. Sure, but it'd probably just order more food if the portions were smaller, at least in the habit that people have developed in America. So it wouldn't make much of a difference at first. Hopefully, over time, it would get used to these smaller portions and eat these smaller portions by themselves. Average 1,000 calories less than Americans on a daily basis. Damn. So they don't eat out as much as Americans. So, okay, so as a more social, Japan is largely considered kind of an introverted country, except for all the cool robot, stuff they got going on at Shinjuku Square and Shibuya Square, and there's a lot of social life in Japan. But on average, they're not as social, as Americans, and that sort of reflects. 90% Americans say they don't enjoy cooking. 45% outright hate it, and 45%. So 16% Japanese people eat out once a week. So that means that they're cooking more. They're getting their own raw ingredients, and they're learning how to cook. So traditional Japanese diet has more variety. So that's variety. That variety is a key. You get all the different natural ingredients that you need, not just hamburger, French fry. It's boring. Yeah. So the importance of balance and variety in Japanese meals. It's always changing with the seasons. Yeah, you got to change with the seasons. Uh, Meat and not just not both meat and dairy. Leaner, yeah, leaner and kinder to our cardiovascular systems, as we was talking about earlier. Veggies and fruits. A lot of people don't eat their veggies and fruits. Of course, they might eat their veggies on their sandwich, like lettuce, like basic stuff. But talk about green beans and kale and spinach and asparagus, and there's all kinds of greens that we don't like, side greens that we don't eat. A lot of people only eat greens when it's on the meat, but yeah, pick up a salad. It's very filling. Salad is very filling. Fruits, delicious. Yeah, according to the CDC, around 90% of Americans don't eat enough fruits and vegetables. 15-year-long dietary study involving over 75,000 participants found that the closer people got to eat the government recommended 5 to 6 servings of vegetables per day, the more likely they were to run a much lower risk of developing cardiovascular. Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. Fresh items, not the processed packaged ones. You get fresh items, fresh rice, fresh meat, fresh fruit, fresh milk. It makes all the difference in the world. Oh, and also they're having a culture of like ramen and noodles. Noodles are really filling and really low in carbs, and especially when you have a lot of broth, it's basically almost 100% water. Broth is almost 100% water, so you're filling yourself up with liquid, that's filling up most of the space in your stomach. Liquid and veggies, in there as well. So that's the way to do it. Oh, and also fish. Fish are very healthy. Even their desserts and sweets aren't as sugary and sweet as they are in America. And just a couple of things. So people who sort of feel, maybe if they have the money and possibly enough time, they could just have one surgery and get over with it, and then over the next few months they'll just like naturally lose weight because they won't be eating as much. This is one option that's available. If you have health insurance, you can afford if you can afford it. Gastric sleeve, basically makes your stomach smaller. And next most expensive thing is liposuction. I wouldn't get liposuction. Like, it's gotta suck. But you want to talk about how we can combat this. Let me think about that for a second. Okay, so fast food lobbying, fast food industry lobbying. Yeah, 24 million industry profile, open secrets. $24 million spent on food and beverage in 2019. It went up a lot in 2009. And then it sort of leveled out over the last decade. It's disgusting, man. Yep, Coke. Of course, Coke and McDonald's. Not surprising that Coke is at the very top. 6.68 million. A National Restaurant ASSN. I'm not sure what that is. Let's see, what do they yeah, I don't know. Mars, the candy bar company, got McDonald's at 1.8 million. Yum for 1.29 million. Starbucks, I don't think is that unhealthy, but I mean, I don't know, but no, they're pretty sugary. Yeah, almost $1 million there. Hershey, yeah, all these big, fast food names are part of the reason that that America is still fat. That America is really fat. Big food is making America. Yeah. Big food companies spend big money in the hopes of shaping the dietary guidelines for Americans. Yep, $35 billion in annual revenue. Mars Incorporated. And they only had to lobby like less than $1 million to push this garbage on the American people and poison them. So it's pretty sick. Yeah. How to get fast food regulated? I don't know, man. Maybe you could call your. I don't know. I don't know who you would call. A direct action. Go out in front of a McDonald's and hold up a picket sign. Call your local representatives uh, or local politicians or whatever. I don't know how that process goes, but this is a fun video. Just I'll bring a little bit of attention to the junk food epidemic that we have in America. It is a serious problem, and be sure to subscribe, leave a like, and comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video.